Hey, welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
If you're gonna dream it big, 'cause someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, 'cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small.
Why, hey there, my podcasting friend. Welcome to episode 304 of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. Thank you, as always, for lending me your ears today. I know you have lots of choices out there, and I really do appreciate you making my podcast one of the things that you're doing today. Now, I do have a bit of a cold, a winter lurgy going on, so if my voice sounds different or if there's quite a few pauses in this podcast recording, it is because my voice either needs a rest or I need to have a cough or something like that. And I definitely don't want to do either of those things in your ears. So thank you and forgive me, all in one sentence. Today, I'm sharing 10 tips around future-proofing your business, especially in the economic crisis times that we find ourselves in today. Now, these tips are very general, though, and they aren't specific advice for your business, but will hopefully see you look at your business a little bit different and help to future-proof it. You know, today is all about just giving you that little bit of a nudge to have a look at your business and thinking, how can I future-proof my business? Or if things aren't going very well, maybe it's a chance for you to, just do things a little bit differently. But regardless of how well your business is doing, if you're struggling or you're doing great right now, I know these tips are going to help you because it's about future-proofing. It's not necessarily about fixing. It's about looking to the future and making sure that we are all still in business in 12 months, 5 years, 10 years, however long it is that we want to be in business, of course. But before I get into today's episode, did you get a chance to listen to my conversation with Ray from True Green Hosting last week? It was a great conversation, and judging by my DMs, everybody loved it. It was looking at how we could be more green when it comes to our online businesses. Because, you know, if you're anything like me, you don't really have much of a footprint, but you have a lot of online footprint to sort of think about. And I love the way Ray made us think just a little bit differently about things. Of course, you can find that episode on all the W's, socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/303, or wherever you're listening to this podcast. Just go back to last week's if you haven't had a chance to listen. But do it after today's podcast, of course. And I know I said today was about future-proofing your business, and maybe if you're in the right space right now, coaching and mentoring might be something that you are ready for. I just wanted to let you know that I have 2 private mentoring and coaching spots left available for the second half of the year. These don't come available very often, but there are 2 available at the moment, and maybe it's time that you made that investment. I do remember reading a quote a few weeks ago now that said, you'll spend 5 times more fixing a mistake than what you would if you got coaching on the same issue. And I just thought that was so really interesting to think that we just try and do everything all by ourselves. But at the end of the day, it's probably more expensive than what it would have been if you got some help with it. So if that sounds like something you'd like to chat with me a little bit more and seeing if we are the right fit. Are you right for me? Am I right for you? Then get in touch. You can book a discovery call through my website at socialmediaandmarketing.com.au or send me a DM on any of the platforms that we're already friends on. But let's get on to today's episode, 10 ways to future-proof your business in an economic crisis. I think it's such an important conversation to have and for you to take this seriously and to take some action towards future-proofing your business. I see about 20 or 30 small businesses a month through my mentoring and coaching, and many of them do need these tips, regardless of whether they're profitable or whether they're struggling or somewhere in between. I think some of these tips would really help them future proof their business. So that's why I've put the podcast episode together for you today. So let's get into it. The first one, make yourself easy to buy from. Seriously, I know it sounds obvious because it's your business and, buying from you might seem obvious, but is it obvious to other people like your buyers? Some people make it really hard to buy from them. So make sure you are physically easy to buy from. Make sure your technology works. If you've got online checkouts, make sure they're simple. If you've got a bricks and mortar store, make sure it's really obvious. Prices, how you buy, the ways you can buy. Cash, FPass, buy now, pay later, whatever it is. Make sure that your social media links work. And if you're tagging products in your socials, make sure they're working as well. Make yourself easy to buy from. Make sure people know what it is that you're selling and what's in it for them. Remember that any product, whether it's a service or a product that you're selling, remember to think about the features, but also the benefits. That big holy grail question in marketing, what's in it for me? Make sure you're answering that. Go back and check your bios on your socials and on your website. If I'm reading it as a potential new customer, do I know what's in it for me if I follow you? Do your bios actually say what it is that you do and what you want to be famous for and who you're trying to attract? Does your bio give me the head nod test that when I'm reading it as a buyer, I'm like, yes, this person's for me. Yes, I need whatever it is that they're selling. Again, make yourself easy to buy from. And the last tip in this particular section, show up. Show up for your community. Let them get to know, like, and trust you. It's such an important part of making yourself easy to buy from. Number 2, this is a bit rough. So might need to be a little bit forgiving of me for this one. But number 2 is take responsibility for your business. It is not anyone else's responsibility or fault for where your business is right now, whether it be good, bad, or ugly. You are 100% responsible for your business. You are the business owner and the buck stops with you. You cannot blame the state of the economy for your business, your customers for your business, the state government for your business. It's just not fair. Like, your business is your responsibility. And I know it's harsh, but it is true. So maybe it's time to think of some things like, manage those slow paying customers better. Get onto them. Stop allowing people to pay you so slowly. Maybe manage the project more efficiently if you've got project or you're project based. Get tough on deadlines, get tough on staff. Reach out to your network and get more work. Come up with some new ideas or refurbish things that have already worked for you in the past. If business is slow, it's your responsibility to up the ante and make business and create business for yourself. Get tough on collecting money. And look at cutting expenses and making tough financial decisions. I know it's really hard, but it's so easy to say, business is down because consumers aren't spending. It's just like, well, someone's spending money. Where is the money? Yes, it might be a little bit left of field. I almost feel like sometimes we need to put our COVID hat back on and go, what did we do during COVID that we survived that and we grew during COVID? So we need to put that hat back on and go, radio, what do we need to do that's a little bit different? Number 3, have a plan, Stan. What is your plan if things get worse? What is your plan if things get better? What is your plan to grow? How are you going to crack that glass ceiling? Have a plan. Number 4, learn. You don't know what you don't know, right? So commit to learning new things that will help grow your business and maybe even grow you. Sign up to that webinar. Join that email list. Pay for the best advisors you can afford right now. Being a lifelong learner has served me enormously over the years. But of course, when I say sign up for that email list, so that newsletter and join that webinar, it won't help unless you take action. So it's learn, but take action with what you have learned. That will be the thing that will make a difference. Number 5, if you've been in my world for any amount of time, you will probably think to yourself, I knew it was coming, Jen. Make marketing a priority. I know, right? It had to be one, right? Because marketing needs to be a priority. Too many small business owners make marketing a sometimes activity, and it needs to be a priority in your business. When it comes to hard economic times, sadly, marketing and a marketing budget is one of the first things that people cut when things turn south. But can I just say, it is probably one of the worst things you can do. To stop marketing is probably one of the worst things you can do. Marketing is what puts money in your bank account. I know that the salespeople will come at me for that, but it's true. That's, marketing. If you don't market your business, then your bank account will reflect that. And if you're having trouble attracting new customers, then market to the ones you already have. Think of them, that they're your low hanging fruit. The people who already know, like, and trust you and have purchased from you, market to them. Don't forget about them. Number 6 is love your customers and build your community, because without customers, we don't have businesses. Show your customers some love. Make them your best friends. If you have customer service, as in, perhaps you're someone who actually sees their customers as opposed to an online business, make customer service exceptional. I guess make it exceptional no matter where it is, whether it's online or offline. That was a bit silly to say, wasn't it? But make customer service exceptional. Stand out from the crowd. Make people want to do business with you again, because everything is just so exceptional when they deal with your business. Online, take time to make your customers a bit of a hero. Maybe share about their businesses on your socials and give them a few shout outs, or like, comment, and share their posts. Get on social media and be social. I know, it's revolutionary, isn't it? What's that? I call it my Hansel and Gretel strategy. Sprinkle that love all over social media, and remember that givers get. So go and give some love to your customers. Number 7, be a forensic accountant. And that's not as hard as what I'm sure forensic accounting is hard. Actually, I know it's really hard. But what I want you to do is get your bank statements out, get a really large cuppa, get a highlighter, a red pen, and get into your finances. Do you really need that monthly subscription? Have you ever used that program you purchased last year or, 2 months ago, and maybe it's about to roll over again, every quarter or every 12 months? Can you live without it because you've never really used it anyway? Was that membership that you signed up to a good investment? Has it paid for itself? If not, is it worth doing again? Find the money that's leaking out of your business right under your nose by being a bit of a forensic accountant and going through your finances. If business is bad, then have a bad day. It's okay. Sit on the couch, cry, yell, tidy your office, burn stuff if you want to. It's winter. You start a fire in the backyard, burning paperwork, whatever it takes. It's okay. It's okay to have a bad day, but tomorrow is a new day. And tomorrow you have to pull up your big girl undies or your big boy undies. And remember, point 2, your business, your responsibility. So it's okay to have bad days, but you have to really think to yourself, the buck stops with me. I'm going to have a day on the couch, but tomorrow I'm going to start taking some action. Number 9, have someone to talk to. In fact, have a few people to talk to. But make sure it's someone who gets it, someone who understands business. Because if you talk to someone who doesn't get it, their advice just won't be right for you. If you're a small business owner and you're talking to someone who's not a small business owner, then they're not going to give you the right advice for you. So find the people who get you, who get what it's like, who gets what it's like to be in business, and talk to them. Find someone to talk to. And look, if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, well, Jen, my business is actually going along quite well, then consider being that person to someone else. If your business is doing well, if future proofing is something that you do and take hold of and take responsibility for, then maybe find a small business owner who is actually struggling and be that ear for them, be that person for them. And number 10, because all this has been just a little bit heavy. So number 10 is have a life outside your business. Make sure you're taking time for you as a person and not as a business owner. Go for walks, go to yoga, ring a friend for a coffee, take up crocheting, take that stale bread down to the creek for the ducks or the turtles to eat. Watch Grey's Anatomy for the 100th time. Just do something that isn't about business, and give your heart, your mind, and your spirit a bit of a business rest and do something for you. Look, I'm talking to myself when I'm saying this as well. I'm not so good at taking the breaks and things like that. But, I'm trying to be better. I'm definitely trying to be better in the last sort of 12 months or so. So I'm pushing you, nudging you to be a little bit better at it as well. So they were my 10 tips for future proofing your business. I'm sure I could do 10 more and probably 10 more on top of that as well. But I want you to just take action on some of them. Write those 10 down and, think about which ones that you could do in your business. Number 1, make yourself easy to buy from. Number 2, take responsibility for your own business. Number 3, have a plan, Stan. Number 4, learn, become a lifelong learner. Number 5, make marketing a priority. Put an asterisk next to that one. I think that one's probably my most important one. Number 6, love your customers and build a community. Number 7, become a forensic accountant. Number 8, if business is bad, have a bad day, but get up tomorrow because tomorrow's a new day. Number 9, have someone to talk to. Number 10, make time for you. Carve out time for you as a person, not as the business owner. Okay, so I'm just going to go a little bit deeper here because if your business situation is dire right now, if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, Jen, I am like 48 hours away from disaster, or I am 2 months away from having to close down or something like that. If your business really is dire, then I have 4 other tips for you. Number 1, take action immediately. I know it can be hard. Oh boy, do I know it can be hard. And I have buried my head in the sand during times like this. And you know what? It doesn't help. So take your head out of the sand and find some ways to move forward because it's paramount that you move forward now. Take one step at a time, find one task you can do, and just start moving forward. It'll be okay, I promise. And if your business doesn't survive, you will, and that will be okay. Okay? Number 2, let those close to you know the seriousness of the situation. Let them in, share the situation. Please let someone else know what you're going through. Number 3, get professional advice and perhaps even a second opinion. Find someone who's good at thinking outside the box. It's really important that you get others involved right now. If things are dire, it's kind of, it is your responsibility, your business, but if things are dire, it's time to get some outside help. And number 4 is make some tough decisions and make them fast. Let go of the emotion and just make hard, fast decisions that will help your business survive. I feel like this has been such a heavy podcast and I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry because I'm really hoping this has helped. I'm hearing so many things from small business owners about how tough it is out there at the moment and how they're finding it just really hard being small business owners because quite often you kind of by yourself. But I hope this podcast has helped. I hope it's come along at the right time with some good advice for you about future-proofing your business. Future-proofing would be an activity that will definitely be worth it for you. And maybe, like I said before, if your business is going along great and you've listened to this and it's like, gee, Jen, this has been a really great conversation to have to remind me of some of the things that I need to do in my business, even though my business is going great, then be that person to somebody else. Go and find somebody else who's maybe not doing so well. Maybe you've seen them post something in a Facebook group, or maybe you heard something when you were out for business drinks the other week. Reach out to them and be an ear for them. Even if you haven't got advice for them, you could be that ear for them, because that's what being in small business is all about. Being there to help others and being part of a community. And if your business isn't going so great and you want to reach out to me, please do. DM me, send me an email, whatever you would like to do. If I can't help you, I will point you in the right direction of people who can. No matter what your budget is, I'm sure that I can point you in the right direction to help you with where your business is right now. You've got this. We've got this. Okay? Okay. That's it for episode 304, though. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. And maybe if you found it valuable, I would love you to take 30 seconds to leave me a rating and a review if you can do that where you're listening. Or maybe you've got a friend who might need to listen to this podcast. Maybe you need to share this podcast on your socials or email it to a friend or tag a friend in it and say, hey, heard this podcast, thinking of you. That would be amazing for me, but it would also be amazing for that person in your community. And of course, if you haven't joined the Like-Minded Business Owners Facebook group, you can always pop in there and ask questions, both of me, but all the community. I have such an amazing community in that group who would be all willing to help you out with any problems that you're having in business. Otherwise, I'll see you next week for episode 305. If we aren't social on social yet, please come and find me. I'm on all the platforms. Just look up Jen Donovan. I'm sure you'll find my smiling face there. But whatever you do, remember, my small business peep, as my opening song says, there is no point in dreaming small.
No time like the present. Tell it like you feel it, say it proud, be true, and let us see you for the star that you are. No point in dreaming small.
I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Yorta Yorta people, on which I record this podcast and conduct my business today, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I extend this respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here with us today as well.